Hey guys, Sarah here. So today I wanted to go over all of the breeding projects that I have for 2021. A few people have been asking me what I'm expecting to get this year, so I thought I would go over that with you. Before we start though, I did want to mention, if you guys didn't watch my last video, this amazing piece of art was done by Nathaniel Patrick. And if you guys would love to go get some awesome snake art, I have his email in the description down below. He did give me permission to use his email because he doesn't really have social media, so if you do want to get a hold of him, that's the way to do it. He puts a lot of work into his pieces, and I really appreciate this piece from him. Also, I have a website, sarahsnakeshop.com. I have merch on there if you guys want t-shirts or notepads or face masks. I have some of that on there. I also wrote 2 corn snake books that are ebooks on there right now. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Joy Princess Sarah. It's all one word. Sarah has an H at the end. And I post on there more often than I post on here because it's just easier, it's quicker. So if you guys want to check me out there, you can. Also, all of these breeding pairs that I'm going to talk to you about, I've posted photos of on my Facebook page, also linked below. So if you guys want to see video and or photos of these specific snakes, you can go there and check it out in the Breedings of 2021 photo album. That's all going to be in there. Also, I wanted to mention that the list of babies that I'm expecting to get is kind of up in the air. I can't 100% say if I'm definitely going to get all of the things that I will list because you never know what's going to happen. Like a female could just lay slugs, or especially in the case where there's multiple different possibilities, I could just get a bunch of the same morph instead of getting any of the variety. So just letting you know, these are possibilities, potentials, but not oh, I'm definitely going to get one of these things or 10 of these things. So just be aware. That's part of the reason that I actually don't do holds on snakes before I've actually made them available. Or I also don't keep a list of contacts for certain morphs because I just never know what I'm going to get each year. I am actually considered a small scale breeder. A lot of people think that maybe I'm a mid-level or high, not mid-level, but scale, a higher scale breeder where, I feel high scale breeders, big scale breeders have, between 75 or more breeding pairs. I feel if you have, 75, 100 or more than that breeding pairs, or at least breeding females that you intend to breed every year, then you're a large scale breeder. And then a middle scale breeder is maybe anywhere between 25 and 75 breeding females. I have less than 20 breeding females. I actually only have I have less than 10 clutches this year, actually, that I'm expecting. So I'm a small scale breeder. I just love the research and I love the information and I love sharing it with you guys. And I have been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. 10 years I've been breeding corn snakes. So just kind of letting you guys know where I'm at with everything. This list may seem short because I am a small scale breeder. I breed out of my home and all of my snakes are my pets and I love them all dearly. They're not just a replaceable, object or whatever that I can just make more of later. I love all of my snakes very dearly. So I'm gonna get into the list. The very first, I'm gonna kind of go by the males that I bred this year because I breed males to multiple females. And the first kind of male story that we're going to follow is my Halo Okatee Snow, Het Caramel Motley, and possibly Het Charcoal. Now, I know he is Het Caramel Motley because I bred him to a Gold Dust Motley last year, and that actually did produce Gold Dust Motleys, excuse me. I also produced a Butter Motley with him last year, so I do know for sure that he's Het for Caramel and Motley, and he's possibly Het Charcoal, but I haven't had a chance to prove that out yet. And I'm breeding him, I bred him first to a Creamsicle Okatee. For those of you who don't know, Creamsicle is the ultra male version of a creamsicle, which is the A-male version of the corn snake, Great Plains rat snake hybrid. So all of those babies will be hybrids, but they're going to be awesome. If you're looking for kind of a very tiger looking corn snake, The creamsicle okatees look really awesome, and the creamsicle okatees are going to be like your creamy orange with white. They're just all going to be really pretty. I'm really excited for that clutch. I just wanted to like make it absolutely clear though that all of those are going to be hybrids. So if you're, into like making sure that everything that you have is 100% pure, you might want to stay away from the creamsicles and the creamsicles. The next female that we bred him to, and this is actually kind of also in the order that I'm expecting the clutches to be laid, that it just sort of happened that way. So the next female that I bred him to was just an Okatee. So, and the reason that I bred him with both of these females actually was because he's the only male from Okatee lines that I have. None of my other males have any Okatee like in their blood. None of them have thick borders, and so I just really wanted to like keep with the thick borders. So I have, I'll just have some Okatees that are het for snow. That's like my halo line. Let's see. I also bred him. I thought I bred him to one other female. Oh yeah, I did. I bred him to his sister, who is a green blotch snow female. That's the next one on the list. I don't normally like to breed siblings, but a lot of people have been wanting green blotch snows, and I wasn't going to be able to get any green blotch snows without doing this pairing. So I went ahead and bred the two of them together, and I'm expecting half halo snows and half green blotch snows. The female is possibly het for caramel, motley, and charcoal, and as I mentioned before, this male is he is het for caramel and motley and possibly het for charcoal. So we might be able to prove out the charcoal het if they both have it. And we might be able to prove out her caramel and motley hets if she has those. The caramel is going to be a little bit weird because adding caramel into snow, especially when the snows are already expected to be yellow, like green blotched, it's really going to be hard to tell if any of them are visual caramel either way. So I don't expect to like concretely prove out whether or not she's had caramel this year. That just is, it's like we might be able to prove it in a few years when her babies grow up and if any of them are definitely homozygous caramel, but I don't plan to keep back the babies specifically for that. I might keep them back because they look nice, but I'm not going to keep them back specifically because I think that they're caramel or because I want to prove her out for caramel. That's just not my plan. The next one is actually different males, so this is the only pairing with this male. It was two classics, and they're het for caramel motley, but they are also possibly het for golden. If you are interested in learning about the golden gene, I did do a video on it. I'll link it up above somewhere so you guys can go watch that. Golden it's a gene that looks similar to caramel, but it's separate. And this pair that I have came from the test breeding between het golden and a caramel. And so all of those babies, like these two, and they are siblings. I think these might be half siblings. I'm not sure if they're full siblings or half siblings. But these two are siblings. They have the same dad. All of those dad's babies were possibly het for golden, and the parent was a caramel and had a bunch of different hets. And this pair ended up being proven het for caramel motley, yes, but the first time I bred them, I also got 3 babies that I believe were actually golden. I believe 2 of them were just goldens, and I think one of them was a caramel golden. I have information about that on my Facebook page as well that I have linked down below if you want to go check those out. And like I said, I did that morph deep dive on it that I already linked, so if you want to go check it out, you can. I am hoping and praying, of course, that we get more goldens. Travis Whistler Reptiles did produce goldens with that same male, and some more females, some siblings from that whole thing. I actually had the majority of these possibly het goldens at one point, but it was just too overwhelming for me. At the time, I was kind of living on my own and had to take care of my house on my own and everything else, and it was a lot. And so having a bunch of normals that I may or may not be able to prove out to be het for something was just not feasible to keep. So I kept the pair that I believe produced goldens, and then the rest of them, including the actual known het male, was sent off to Travis Whistler, and then he did prove at least one of the other females to be golden, or at least het golden, last year, and he had some golden babies. So that, I do believe that project is in good hands, and I have no regret selling them, but I am glad that I kept this pair. I'm going to move on. I love talking about golden, which is why I talked about it for so long, but I don't want this video to like be forever long either. So we have the next sort of breeding is kind of up in the air still. I don't want to say it's up in the air because it has happened. The female is actually kind of the weird one in this. So the female's a classic, and she's het sun-kissed, charcoal, diffused, anery, hypo, red coat, and she's possibly het from Motley. Pretty much everything but the kitchen sink is in there. I haven't tried to breed her with a male, but I was told her mom was het a male when I bought her. She's part of a line that I've had for a long time, and I originally wanted to breed her to a charcoal because he was the only male at the time that I thought I had would fit okay in that project. Like, I have other males, but they just weren't breeding ready. But she absolutely hated him. And I don't know why. Some females are really, really picky with the males that they will breed to. She's bred twice before, but she bred with the same male both times. And he actually was very, very old, and he unfortunately passed away last year. And when I say he was really old, he was my very first corn snake. So he was very old, and I was really happy that she was able to produce with him, but I think that she just didn't like the idea of a new male, or I don't know. She had never been in with another male before. That's the only male that she'd ever been exposed to, and so I think that maybe she just didn't like this male. And he's also relatively large. Like, she's a good sized female. She's not my largest female, but she's still a really good sized female. But he was still, like, he's still two of her, like, as far as weight goes, almost. I would say she's about 450 grams, and he's probably like 650 grams. So it's not like that huge, but he's still bigger than her. And the other male was actually about the same size as her. So I don't know, but either way, she hated that male, and I love him to death. He was just a charcoal, and he's just a big doofus that was dropped off at my front door because his owner didn't want him. And by the way, please don't do that to me. Please do not just drop off snakes at my house. Like, I did, like, give this person my address and, like, give them permission to do that, but no, I don't normally take random snakes. I just don't. That's not part of my job. Part of, like, my job is to make sure that there are healthy snakes in the market. I'm not a rescue, though. This was very special circumstances, me taking this snake in. Regardless, I love him to death. He's a big old puppy dog doofus boy, but she just didn't like him. And it turns out that a ghost Motley blood red, who I originally thought was a female, I bought it as a female, turned out to be male. I had kind of put him, believing that he was a her, in with his sister, just like temporarily, because I was cleaning out enclosures, and I was like, I'm just gonna put you in here with your sister. You guys have been in the same enclosure before, you're okay, just for like 5 minutes while I'm cleaning. And like, he started to try to hump her, and I was like, oh, this is not female behavior, this is definitely male behavior. So sure enough, I took that snake out, probed it, it's a male. And so I thought, well, hey, this other female that has a lot of similar genes is not interested in the male that I had in for her, but like, let's see if he'll breed to her, or if she'll let him breed to her. And sure enough, she loved him to death, and he was right on it, and we got a lock like right away. So who knows what the daddy's going to be of that clutch, but I've talked about it for 3 minutes, so let's just go through the list of possibilities. If the charcoal is the daddy, and by the way, dual father clutches are a thing, so we could have like half the clutch be fathered by one and half the clutch be fathered by the other. I did put the charcoal in with her overnight at one point, and I thought that I saw like leftovers evidence, which is usually a yellow stain. But that still could have been just like urates or something instead of actually being like breeding evidence. I'm not 100% sure. I am 100% sure that she locked with the ghost blood red male. I'm not 100% sure that she locked with the charcoal. If she did, then I'm expecting just normals and charcoals out of that clutch and really nothing else. However, if she like only got sperm from the charcoal, or from the ghost blood red male, I'm expecting aneries, hypos, let's see, aneries, hypos, ghosts, hypo blood reds, some classics, granites, hypogranites, also known as diffuse ghosts, and possibly motley versions of all of that if her motley het proves out. I don't think it will, because I like the male that I bred her to before was het motley, and after I want to say like 50 babies that she hatched, like she had with him, none of them were motley, but who knows? We may have just not hit the jackpot before on the motley. So honestly, as much as I love my big doofus charcoal male, I do kind of hope that the Ghost Blood Red was the sire, because I really, really love seeing all the variety. The Ghost Blood Red is actually the sire of the other two as well. I did end up going ahead and breeding him with his sister, who is also a Ghost Blood Red, because, I mean, she was ready, and I didn't exactly have, like, a male that I was going to breed with her. I was actually going to breed these last two with the charcoal male, just because hypo and anery are still very common hets. So I thought maybe by some chance, the charcoal might end up being het for hypo and or anery. And, you know, we would just have maybe just normal babies that were het for this. You know, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with these females. But since the Ghost Blood Red Motley male is a male instead of a female, I went ahead and bred him to his sister, who's also a Ghost Blood Red Motley, and then another Ghost Motley female, who's actually a nice Hurricane Motley, and she is possibly het for Blood Red, we're not sure. So yeah, from those last two clutches, I'm expecting Ghost Blood Red Motleys, and Ghost Motleys, maybe some Hurricane Motley thrown in there. So yeah, I think it'll be a really nice year. Anybody who's looking for like darker colored snakes this year is probably gonna have to wait a little bit longer, because those last three were obviously bred later than the first 3 or 4 that I mentioned. But we're looking at getting the creamsicles and the creamsickos first, and then after that I'm expecting the green blotch and halo snows to come. And right around the same time, I'm also expecting the golden clutch to hatch. And then after that, I'm expecting the Okeetees, and then all of the ghosts, Ghost Blood Reds, all of those things to come afterwards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, check out Nathan's stuff, check out my website, subscribe if you haven't. I do corn snake content mostly, but in the future I actually do have a pair of spotted pythons that I'm raising up to breed. So in the future you might get a little bit more of like content with the spotted pythons. So you know, stick around for your corn snake content and subscribe, so you are at least like, you know, you kind of can see me at a glance when I go by. We just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I'm so happy you guys are here. And you know, maybe I might actually start monetizing this channel soon. Like, that's probably not super great news for those who do watch me, because nobody likes to see ads. But if I did start getting AdSense in, if I started getting any, you know, like other money coming in, I would probably start upgrading equipment, which means better videos for you guys where I can actually like, you know, put photos and stuff up on the screen, or I can do better editing. Editing software is probably the first thing that I would purchase with any AdSense money. So if you guys would like to see higher quality videos from me, you know, keep watching, subscribe, and once I get to the point where I start getting AdSense, I will start investing in some better software. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.